Welcome to Connections. This is the forum for relationships, for expression and healing, and we are at episode 26. Some words about our show. It offers single episodes and short series of talks and interviews regarding the really most important areas of human life, such as relationship issues, personal expression, and self-development, and also healing. And this will be topic of today. The purpose of the mini-series we are on, this is about emotions, is to give inspiration and to teach skills with which to tame the emotional upheavals in our lives. Today's topic in this mini-series is media indoctrination versus self-training your own mind, and how to use vibrational art for healing and taming the emotional organ. I'm Heidi Hornlein. I am a transformational coach and a relationship counselor, and I work with individuals and couples to heal their relationship, to foster their relationship. But I'm also a voice coach and help you to find your authentic voice, literally and also in the world. And I have a retreat center here in Italy, and I invite you to come and have a wonderful retreat with us. So far to me, and I'm here as always with my buddy, Margherita Crystal Lotus. Hello, Margherita.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Margherita Crystal Lotus, and I am a life and business mentor who intuits and help stressed professional women to get over their emotional issues so that they can live a very wonderful life with new relationships and a successful career. And also the founder of the Crystal Lotus is a vehicle for awareness and consciousness. And the topic today is precisely what we're doing on the site. And we have here also a retreat center, Enchantment, where I see private clients in personal retreats.
Wonderful. Before I will ask you what you mean, with your topic, I would like to tell to our listeners that please post your comments and questions below on the event page, and also later if you listen to the replay on YouTube, please leave the comments there. We will get the notification and we will engage with you from there too. So, media indoctrination versus self-training your mind. I can understand a little bit what you mean with that. And then comes using vibrational art for healing. What is vibrational art? I have no idea.
That is so cool, Heidi. I'm so glad, because maybe our viewers doesn't know that either. But let's say we are bombarded by images every day. As soon as you go on the internet, there's images popping up, and then you go here and you go here, and your mind go crazy, and you look at all of these things. Especially in Google Plus now, we have these GIFs that, the images that moves, not videos, but they come out of you. I remember the other day there was like a owl flying right in the screen. It was almost scary. Excuse me. So this is to catch our attention, and so advertising is using this. And what I talk about media indoctrination is that if a person, company, government, religion, any kind of institution or private person wants to send a message to you and want you to follow what they want, like in a church, it's the doctrine, right? In the government is, yeah, we'll have to pay all the taxes, let's say. In the company is the intention for buy our products. So the images and the logotypes, let's say, are all geared to attract the users, their followers' attention. And so you see every day, every moment when you have your eyes open, you see images. That's what vision is. And many of these images have very specific intentions with them. Everybody probably has seen the Coca-Cola logo. And then they have spent millions of dollars of actually indoctrinate us to connect these youthful people drinking it so that when it's hot out there, oh, I'm going to go to that brand. So that is media indoctrination. Also, you know, within the religious traditions, there are symbols that is representing different complex concepts that describe what the doctrine is all about. I mean, a good example is the cross in the Christianity, right? In Judaism, it may be the Star of David. In Buddhism, it could be an image of the Buddha. So in everywhere and every place, in every time, vibrational art has existed. Even way back in the Stone Age culture, people drew pictures of bisons or animals or deers or something because they had sort of, this is how it's explained to me, they had a vision quest of seeing that animal giving themselves to them so that they can hunt them and have something to eat. So that's also intentional. And we see some of those images in caves from very, very long time ago. So does that give a little clarity to introduce the topic, Heidi?
Yeah, so you mean vibrational art is an artifact, something you make or you draw that then attracts something, let's say, you know, or transports a meaning.
Exactly, exactly. So if you want to buy a bicycle, then you could look for an image of bicycles. If you want a bicycle, then you look at images of bicycles online or in the storefront, right? Or anything that you associate with bicycling. Let's say, you know, the hair is going in the wind and somebody is out having a really good time. And so that's how they associate, let's say, a bicycle manufacturer might associate this particular bicycle with their product, and the emotional beauty, the emotional delight, whatever it's going to, it's transmitted with that image.
And the image becomes nicer so that it is more attractive. This is very nice as an idea, but still bicycle is bicycle. What you said before, for instance, the cross or the yellow star, no? There are symbols for something else which we culturally know what it means. So this is a little bit more, how to say,
Yeah.
elaborated.
But before we knew what a bicycle was, how could anybody know what it is? It's just two wheels with some kind of frame. And if you never saw a bicycle, you didn't really know exactly what it was.
Okay, okay. So tell me a little bit more about vibrational art, and you told me about seduction, vibrational art and seduction. You told me about Coca-Cola and, you know, young people who seem to be happy when they drink Coca-Cola, and that's why when you want to be happy, you have to go and buy Coca-Cola. This is not what you mean with healing and vibrational art, you know. What do you...
Yes, I see your point. But what my point here is that when even in the ancient symbol, like the cross, that has been, the followers has associated something with an emotional state. an outcome, a result. You know, I don't know too much about the Christian faith, so I cannot say anything more than that, even though I was grown up in Sweden. But most people know the symbol of the cross, and also in the traditional Christian faith, they know exactly what that means, and they follow it. They wear it as a symbol in a necklace, let's say. They have in the churches, there is this cross displayed, let's say. So it's the same thing. As it's not the same value in the end. Maybe the spiritual traditions have a much more loftier goal. We're going to be saved, or we're going to be eternally happy. Whereas a company who sells a soft drink, it's just a commercial thing. So I want to make that point. But the thing is, we are attaching images and sounds with emotional states. So when you see that Coca-Cola or that soft drink ad, it's like happy people. You get this result when you drink this drink. That's the connotation which makes people buy it. So this is a method, right? So what I have done is to make the distinction that we can also create art, images, symbols, and then start to associate those symbols or images with an outcome that we want for ourselves, not somebody else's mind training, not somebody else's intention, but our own. And then that becomes immensely important for our own healing. And
that sounds interesting. That sounds really interesting. So that you associate certain pieces of art with a certain emotion, you connect them together, and you using this piece of art, then you can evoke in yourself this state. But it's not given by somebody else, but it is chosen by yourself. Is that what you say?
Exactly. So when I say mind training, people maybe associate that with something negative, because we've seen, some of you maybe have seen the Manchurian Candidate, where they programmed soldiers under drugs and stuff like that to behave in the end as trained assassins, and they compartmentalize parts of the brain to shut down, so that when they said the command, that assassin went out and did it. So this is, you can use the knowledge of how to train a mind in only two ways, either the good way or the bad one, right? And here, healing is actually the purpose of healing is to restore ourselves, so that we can actually find out what we are inside and who we are inside. Like if you think about it, wouldn't you want to choose what you want to feel, what you want to have in your life? Everybody wants happiness, right? Everybody wants to be free of, being angry or depression or something like that. So does that make sense?
This makes sense, yeah. So, Tammy, you have found out something about that. How can you do that?
How to do that, yeah. So, I belong to a spiritual tradition that do repetition, like mantras, let's say. And the mantras is kind of a prayer. And affirmation is a different way of describing. There's a statement of I am happy, let's say. So many beautiful authors like Louise Hayes, for example, have introduced the idea of affirmations, and I'm thinking that she also had the background in learning about mantras. But when you repeat something many times, let's say I'm drinking my coffee here, right? And I love it. I'm getting attached to it. I want it every morning or every hour, let's say. I'm a little bit of a coffee addict. And so when we have this habit of actually saying or doing something, that gives a little path inside of our brain, inside of our mind. We're usually going this road. Okay, I'm thinking I need a coffee now. Then I will go out to the kitchen and make coffee, right? And I can drink it. The same way we can say, okay, I'm not going to let that event or those insulting comments that comes to me let me react. Instead, I'm going to say this prayer, or I'm going to think of this image that I created with my intention of being emotionally happy, let's say. So then after practicing that for some time, then you can actually not react to that insulting comment and still stay balanced. You won't get depressed or get in despair for 3 days. Previously, you might have gone into being upset and depressed for something somebody says. And you can fix some of these problems by using the mind training of repeating something in a very easy way. It has to be easy to do, otherwise, how do we want to do it, right? How do we want to work?
Very, very interesting, because it's a very old knowledge that by repeating we learn. And actually, let's say the bad habits were so ingrained into us because we have repeated them too often. And then they became conditioned. And what you are talking about is to interrupt these conditionings which don't help us so much, but which are hindering us or limiting us, and condition ourselves in a different way, so that the mind ways, which normally went like this, let's say, and then we make it go like in this way, you know. So we change the direction of the connections in the mind, you know. I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, imagine there is a forest in front of you. And then there is a path there, and you know you can go through the forest by taking that path. But that's a very long path, and it ends up in a swamp. Instead, you need to break through some brush. And so then you get the guide who shows you that, yeah, we have to penetrate the bush here. We can make a little opening and go this way, and then you go to that nice meadow that's very nice to be. And so with that guide to help you, you're breaking up the first little steps so you can see, oh, I can actually go through here. And then you go through it a number of times until you know, oh, I know the way right now. I can go that way and come to this meadow of sunshine and beauty instead of into the swamp where I get stuck all the time. So does that make sense?
This is a very good metaphor, really, very good metaphor. Do you have an example maybe of yourself or your client where this has worked out? Just a story about...
Yeah. Of course. So I have a client. Maybe I'll tell a little bit about what I do. This technology I'm using is called gem codes, and it's an arrangement of crystals. And you can see an example here under my picture here. It's an image that has certain crystals in it, and each of these crystals has, of course, a specific vibration. And the combination of them, as I have interpreted them is for a particular intention. And so I can create a picture that has the intention of what the client wants. And I can also do a general intention, such as forgiveness, for example. And in my book, the Crystal Lotus Handbook, there is an image of this forgiveness gem codes. It's a circle of green stones. It's similar to the picture under my picture. There is like a circle. And she said that she took those green, the green stones in that image, and then she put all of the issues with the people in those stones, and then she put the specific issues she was working on inside of it. And then she looked at it, and it's sort of that person or that event was encapsulated so that she could get a little distance from the actual harmful event or the very difficult person, so that she could forgive that event or that person, even herself. And that thing of having a little distance to a traumatic event is very important. I have the power to put that event inside of that circle, and that circle is holding it. It's a visualization, obviously, but it works. So she had worked with somebody at work who was really bullying her and everybody else too, apparently. So I told her, why don't you work with that, with that gem codes image? And so she has. And I hope I can share this with you. But she said the other day that all of a sudden she turned to this person at work with a happy face and said, "Good morning." And even though the other person was brushing it off and wasn't very friendly at all, she said that that was a real victory for her, to actually see her not thinking that she did something bad, but that the other person have their problems too. And my client said that she doesn't have to take that on. She doesn't have to react to it. She just put that event, that behavior over there, that's that other person's problem. She herself doesn't have to buy into it. So that's sort of a story I could share from the other day.
Yeah, this is very interesting, because often we say, oh, don't be bothered by what the other people say, don't listen to them, but we still get entangled emotionally unless we find a way, a really practice to get out of the emotions. Because one thing is to say it, and one thing is really to feel it. So in this case, it was about appeasement, about making peace in the emotions and not getting aroused by the negativity of the other person. And so, you know, even if she might have told herself for years and years, you shouldn't be reacting on that, this is his problem, it's not mine. But it doesn't work like that, you know. You really need a practice, and the best thing is to be guided into the practice, because alone, you know.
Well, it's so cool, because the images that we use is, sometimes people don't like their images, and I say, great, work with that. And sometimes, but most of the time they feel, oh, it's so beautiful. That's most what I hear about them. And how it works is basically, I tell my clients that, okay, so where do you want to go? What do you want to feel? What is it that your goal is? So then they tell me what the goal is. Maybe they want to be happier, or feeling better in the relationship, or making more money, let's say. So then I say to them, okay, so visualize you got that already. Do you have that? You have it already. How would you feel? And then we go in to see, okay, I feel this. And then so I help them connect with that state of that emotion that they have when they have what they want. So every time when they look at their image, I say, try to connect with that for 5 seconds. So every time you look at the picture, you allow yourself 5 seconds, even 2 seconds. Okay, come into this. Be calm, let's say. So if you have the image on your cell phone, your desktop, or your mobile device, or print them out in a little tiny card, like a postcard or a little business card size, so you remember it. And then when you look at it and you feel that emotional state you want to have, when you have what you want, then you can have 5 seconds of peace and calm, let's say, 100 times a day. And that becomes a habit. And when that habit is solidifying, that becomes the default path. That becomes what you actually will do. And that other thing, being depressed and see the negative part of some issue, that would be the path less traveled.
This is good. I have a question in my mind. It came up now. I mean, art has always been used for emotional states of people, or by liberating their own emotional states by drawing yourself, or by, you know, making colors everywhere, whatever. So all forms of art, also music, are used to influence on our emotions. And I wonder, how would you see the difference between just, you know, painting a lovely picture yourself for getting out of a depressive state, for instance, or doing what you say, choose, or with your help, choose a certain image and then do these visualizations together with this image? What is the difference?
There is a big difference. When we do creative art therapy, let's say, then I ask the person to just pick colors and media. It could be constructing a wand, or making a painting, or something like that, or they go outside and get some natural light, some woods or pine cones or something, so that they can put together a picture. That releases some of the emotions for the person, and it also shows what the picture is now. But to actually think about it, if you don't know what the state is like, you really need to have somebody who knows it, because otherwise, how can you create it? It's very, very difficult. So that's why it's important that you trust the person who actually facilitates for you. It's like you're going to a therapist that you really trust, and you know that they have done the work. So it's the same thing here. When we create these images together, I mean, they tell me what the intention they want, and I go and create it. It's a very sacred process, because I have to be outside of my ego to actually be able to create these images. And I've had a great response to even financial goals. I have on my website a lady who has a denture clinic, and that testimonial is on my website, thecrystallotus.com, if you want to go see it. And she had an enormous financial success, doubling her income from one month to the other, and repeating it some months later, where she was in the beginning thinking that she's going to close the business because she had such a low income at that time. Now she's flourishing, and asked me again to do another gem codes for her business. And she's moved into a new location right now, and it's amazing. So I recommend that if you want to work with this process, study it carefully, and the person's who actually is helping you, because when it comes to your mind, you have to be really clear that, okay, I can trust this. I could see that the other people have done this work, and that's the result they have got. And so that's what I could say about that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And this advice to really trust people before you go there, and also, you know, look a little bit in the history. If they got what you want to to achieve yourself. So in our situations, for instance, in my situation, when I teach how to attract a partner or how to create a wonderful relationship, I mean, I have attracted my partner, and we are creating a relationship which is what we say beyond our wildest dreams, because we couldn't dream about it because it's so different as all the things we knew before. So in our case, we would be able to guide people to exactly what you say, because we have done the work and we have seen the results, and we sort of know where we have to go, which steps to take, you know. And the same thing with my voice teaching. I have done that work before, and so I actually know how to find your voice. So it's really important that you check out the people. And I mean, yeah.
Well, when it comes to this too, is I have a very easy way to test it if you like it, and I could talk a little bit about that later on if there is time. But right now, there is a very low investment, a little e-course. It's less than $30. And if you wanted to try out this method, you could go there and try it.
Where? Where?
So
Where do you offer it?
I have right now a few people on this course. It's just started this spring, so we're testing it out. So I'm really happy about it, because it's includes a 7-week course. And then from time to time, you get a little bit inspiration of how to really work with this, because we need somebody that you can ask something that, you know, holds you up and say, I'm on the right track. So that's what I mean with when we are in this bush, in the forest, and we most end up in the swamp. We might need a guide to show us to the sunny meadow, and this little course is sort of the first steps to that.
And where do they find it? On your website?
Yes, it's on my website, thecrystallotus.com.
Wonderful. So I think you are equipped now where to go and begin with this process. And Margherita, this was very interesting. I didn't know anything about this word vibrational healing, but you say that the vibrations are emanated by the objects, the art objects you are creating, and this doing their work with the people who are doing the work, who are ready to do the work together with these pieces of art. That's wonderful. Being guided, in this case, by you. Good. Thank you very much, Margherita, for today. And I want to remind...
I don't know if we had any comments. I saw several people trying to ping me to get in, but...
I don't know if it is working today. I don't see any other comments here.
Yeah, I think the system is a little bit dumb. Anyway, I am really glad to talk about this, because I've studied this for, it's maybe 4 years, and I had 60 volunteers to test it out for the first 2 years, and so it's not just a fling. It's something that I think is going to stay with me for a long time. And anyway, I'm very passionate about helping people to actually get over the problem. And be happier, and have their emotion in check, and really do what they want to do.
Yeah, that's wonderful. We are both having this passion to help people, and that's why we're here with these Hangout series. And next Thursday at the same time, we will have another episode, another edition of the Emotional Ogre. And next time it will be emotions and music, and we will have as a special guest Sue Aston from England, who is a lovely violinist. You can find her in a concert in the My Music Hangout by Christine de Graaf. They did a concert 2 weeks ago. No, this Sunday there was a replay, and Sunday the week before. You might check it out. It is really, really lovely. Or go to her website, the SueAston.com. You find her on Google Plus for sure. She is quite known there. So next week we will talk about music and emotions, and we will hope to inspire you that you can do it too. So thank you, Margherita, and bye-bye. We see you next week.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.